I thought after a lifetime of youth ministry, if I couldn't be in the room with you and I couldn't look you in the eyes, radio was cold and impersonal.
Ooh.
That's what I thought. Oh, I have repented in sackcloth and ashes. I was so wrong about that. I know now that we become a part of somebody's life. And you guys know this. You know, when they see you, of course, they're always disappointed in what we look like. You're like, whoa, you know.
The face for radio.
No. Yeah, I'll speak places like at the Billy Graham Training Center at the Cove, and I'll say, now, I can tell which one of you are radio listeners because I look for the disappointed faces because you thought you knew what I look like. So I said, I just have a simple message for those of you who are radio listeners. I'm sorry. But the fact is, it truly is a relationship, and we move in close in people like those personal moments I just described a couple minutes ago. And so as I did a little 5-minute program in the New York area, which a man said, why don't you do a 5-minute radio program? I said, I can't get my name in 5 minutes. But you know what? I did what I've always done with young people. I told a story. Does this sound familiar? I got to a scripture from that story, and then I answered like a so what? So what if that's true? How does that affect my life? And I began to hear from people how that was reaching into hearts and lives. And then the Moody Network took it, and now believe it or not, Bob, God has given us a voice on about 1,200 outlets across.
Oh my goodness!
Across the U.S. I can't believe it. And now I speak Mandarin fluently. Well, that's not exactly true. But actually,
I knew you were on something. You were up to something. You asked me what language you wanted to do this interview in, so that's very impressive.
I can order in a Chinese restaurant, but God has taken us into the most spoken language in the world. A word with you in China, all over China. A word with you in the second most spoken language, Spanish. English is third, then Hindi. We're in India in Hindi language, and just recently Arabic, the fifth most spoken language in the world. And I just want to say this because everybody, there's something in this for everyone. The stories that God has me start a word with you with, they will listen and engages a heart when you tell a story in a disarming way. And I want to say that, Bob, you and I and everyone listening right now has a personal story. Your life is a story.
That's so good.
And you have a hope story. You have a story of how your life is different with Jesus than it would be without him. You think of the ways someone who's listening right now is living proof that a father can change, a mother can change, a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter. Someone listening is living proof that a temper can change, that an addicted person can change, that a control freak can change. Someone is living proof that Jesus makes all the difference at a funeral, all the difference in the hospital, all the difference when you get bad news from the doctor, all the difference when you experience a life loss. You have a hope story. Figure out your hope story and tell your hope story, because people can argue with your beliefs, Bob, but they can't argue with your story. And that guy said, once I was blind and now I can see. They said, well, what about Jesus and the Sabbath? You notice they didn't argue with
I don't know.
Yeah, but they didn't argue with you weren't blind.
Yeah.
You can't see. Yes, I was. Yes, I can. All I know is in between the difference was Jesus came. We all have a hope story. It is the most powerful. We say, I don't know how to get started. Tell your story. And in the process of telling your story, tell how his story of what happened on that cross changed your story and could change their story forever. 1 Peter 3:15 says, always be ready to give a reason for the hope that you have. It doesn't say be ready to give a reason for the beliefs that you have or the meetings you go to or the things you don't do. It says give a reason for your hope. What is hope? Something can change that looked like would never change. That's hope. What's hopeless? This will never change, right? And all of us can see in our life something Jesus changed that no one else ever could have. And that hope story can lead you to help change somebody else's story and eternity forever.